What if I told you that Uber almost died before it even launched? That it was built on the back of a hacked SMS system, a Google Maps loophole, and a little known startup that made the whole thing possible? This isn't your usual two guys had an idea startup story. This is the real tech behind Uber. The secret APIs, the hacks, and the breakthroughs that made it possible. Buckle up. Get it? Cars, seatbelts. My name's Darren Northfield. I've spent over 20 years helping businesses turn their IT from a constant headache or a bottleneck into a powerful tool for growth. Today, I'm going to share a few things that might just change the way you think about technology in your business. The problem was obvious. Getting a cab in a big city sucked. Taxis were unreliable and calling a taxi dispatch office meant sitting on hold. Travis Kalanick and Garrett Camp didn't just want an app. They wanted an instant automated car hailing system, but there was a problem. There was no way to automatically request a car via an app back in 2009. Mobile apps weren't that advanced and there was no existing API for taxis. The first Uber prototype wasn't even an app, it was an SMS system. You'd text a number and behind the scenes a script would ping an admin dashboard to dispatch a car. A glorified text message system with a Google Maps overlay, but it worked. The next problem, how do you even show drivers on a map in real time? It sounds easy today, but back then GPS tracking was a mess. The breakthrough, Google had just released the Maps API, but there was no real-time location tracking feature yet. Uber engineers found a loophole though. They could ping a phone's GPS every few seconds and fake real-time tracking. Another problem though, back then mobile networks were slow, 3G was unreliable and iPhones couldn't handle constant GPS updates without killing the battery. Uber's first few engineers spent weeks trying to smooth out the car's movement on the map. Otherwise drivers would look like they were teleporting all over San Francisco. They fixed this with interpolated GPS pings. Instead of updating the exact location in real time, they used predictive movement calculations to make cars glide smoothly on the map. One of Uber's biggest innovations wasn't just getting a car fast, it was never dealing with cash. In 2009, mobile payments were still primitive. Stripe didn't exist yet. Most apps used PayPal, but Uber needed instant card-on-file payments. Uber partnered with Braintree, one of a few startups at the time offering a mobile-friendly credit card processing system. This allowed frictionless background payments that made Uber feel almost magical. This was one of the key psychological tricks that made Uber addictive. You didn't feel like you were spending any money. Even with this tech in place, Uber had a huge problem. It needed thousands of drivers, but had zero drivers. The catch-22, no passengers equals no drivers sign up. No drivers equals no passengers use the app. So Uber faked demand. In early cities, Uber hired their own drivers and filled the map with fake cars to make it look busy. The first Uber rides were actually staged. They made the system look full before it actually was. Without this trick, Uber might have flopped before it even launched. Once Uber got traction, they started building real cutting-edge tech. Uber built an AI-driven dynamic pricing system, adjusting ride prices based on demand in real time. This meant during rush hour or bad weather, Uber drivers would earn more and passengers would be more likely to find a ride. Instead of building one giant app, Uber structured their system with city-based configurations. Each city had its own pricing rules, driver incentives, and market model. This allowed Uber to roll out new cities incredibly fast without rewriting their entire back-end code every time. Uber didn't just build an app, it hacked together a whole new way of using technology. From SMS dispatches to AI pricing, it reshaped how we think about transportation. But the real question is, with self-driving cars on the horizon, will Uber even need drivers soon? Let me know in the comments. Tired of slow support, confusing advice, and IT that holds your team back? We've been fixing that for businesses like yours for 20 plus years, with proactive support, better communication, and tech that actually drives growth. Let's have a proper conversation.